Okay, good morning, everybody here, the Sala de Juntas and on Zoom. Today we will have a special talk by Dr. Antonio García Hernández. He's a professor at the University of Granada, and he will talk all the details on the thesis, the submission, and defense at the university. So please.
Okay, thank you, René. So yes, I'm now working as permanent position in the university as PPL. That means Professor Permanente Laboral. The new denominations, everything changed, and because also the submission and defense process changed a bit this year, so that's the idea of coming here to talk a bit about it. Also, because there are some things that are not written in paper, and this is, I think, important, above all concerning to us, the people at the university that will become the secretary of the tribunal. It's important for you to know what are the aspects that concern us. The idea was to be a short call. I don't wanted to do a seminar, as is the call here, but and also that everybody of you doing the PhD can ask me the question you have. Okay. At the beginning, I also want to focus on these two parts because I didn't think about the beginning of a PhD. So sorry, because this part is missing. Suppose that all of you are already enrolled in a PhD, and sorry if that part is missing, but you can ask questions about that. Okay, this is going to be probably one of the most boring talks I ever gave, but sorry about that, but it's lost, so I have to tell you. I try to do it in a more interesting way, but I don't know how it's going to be. Okay, let's go to do that. Let's come here. Yeah, I know a lot of people are not here because I did my PhD here. So it was a long time ago. That's okay. With the thesis work, and I will remark what is the changes and important thing you have to have. Of course, as you know, it has to be an original work, and you train your research and development, innovation, these letters, put it in the laws, but mainly research. This is not the most worry about your work because I know that your supervisors not everything of this. There is a slide specifically for supervisors, by the way. Okay, the most important point is maybe this. What it changed is that you will need some minimum two reports for external people from the university. Last year, or in the previous calls, you only need that if you try to obtain the international mention, but now it's mandatory for everyone. These two aspects, doesn't have to be from abroad, so have to be to any other.
That is running for all the doctoral program.
Yes.
Programs.
Yes.
The university.
I took this for the general rules of the university. So then I'm going to be specific on the programs related to astronomy and astrophysics, so mainly PCMAT and the programming in physics. So once you have the reports from the external people, the good point is that they can be part of the tribunal, so they don't have to read again your thesis or just read the modifications. So we'll go one step ahead, and you will have a period in which you have to do some modification to the reports if they consider they need to be modified. And all this is before you submit your thesis. Okay, So take that into account. I will put some timelines so you have pretty clear this. Okay? The minimum content of a thesis work is a title, abstract, introduction, objectives, methodology, result, conclusion, bibliography. Nothing different from a normal paper and so. This is the minimum. You can put the data set, you can put other stuff you need to put in there. But this is the minimum. I would say that this is not quite tight because I saw some thesis work that doesn't contain maybe all these things, but this is not the main points, okay, here. Okay, this is the minimum content, but also you have the option to do a thesis as a compilation of articles. I put here minimum 2. I think that they, in the astronomy part and the PC maths, they ask for 3. So this is general, as I told you, and should be accepted or published after you get the master thesis. Cannot be before. So if you are going to plan to submit a paper before you end your thesis, your master thesis work, don't do it. Wait a bit, and then you have it, I don't know, a month after that. Okay, so you can introduce it in your thesis.
Do they need to be in scientist reference journal or not?
I think I have another slide on this. It has to be on journals indexes in the UGR. So yeah, the Journal Citation Research Index.
Yeah, does this mean 2 first author papers or like there's a limitation of how many first author, like 1 first author and then others? Like,
No. In principle, you are free of putting you can be the last author of the paper. You
need minimum at least some first author.
At least what?
At least 1 first author paper, I guess.
No, in principle, no, the rules are not like that. No, that's amazing, but no. The question here is to prove that you did the most of the work. So if you did most of the work to be included in the thesis, mainly you have to be the first or the second author at the most. You know, if you have to include them there, then you have to prove that and you present that. I mean, you have to put in the thesis the results and so on. So if you did like the small part of it, how you are going to put in that. Apart from that, you have to obtain a declaration from all the co-authors that they are not going to use that paper in another thesis.
So I have a question about that. This is probably my, but since I work in a big collaboration like 300 people,
yes,
am I supposed to get a declaration from 300 people, or is it okay to get from the publication committee of the whole collaboration?
That's a good question, and I don't have the answer. This is the first time I faced.
In practice, you need to get all of them, but it just takes you like 5 minutes to call to the whatever. You just call them, explain it, and it takes 5 minutes. They understand. You just need as many as you can, but it's never.
Never respond to my email.
It's true. You can call. Okay, this is in the university. I'm going to say something that I shouldn't. In the university, things are usually easy and can be solved quickly. You send an email, you call them, or you go there to explain the situation. Okay, because you have so many cases where I'm speaking about this astronomy, but you have different science, but you have also laws, history, arts. So quite different topics. So, you know, they understand. And they usually, if they don't know in the administration what to do, they ask to the people who knows what to do. So the professors at the university, that's specialists of this, okay?
So, Antonio, I think in the collaboration, you need to be organized, because if you are 300, maybe you are 20 PhD students. And if you call this paper to be in your thesis, the other, I think, cannot.
Yeah, that's already
so.
Yeah.
like maybe other universities ask the same.
So we also have situations where like the student is the first author, but then the collaboration appears as the rest of the authors. So, but then it's clear that you did most of the work. But you, since they're co-authors, you still need to provide the declaration.
Okay,
that's the situation.
I mean, yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay, and then you can include the papers in your PhD as chapter of the manuscript or just in the appendix. So you organize the thesis like this, and then you put all the papers in an appendix to show that what you explain in the thesis is what you get in the papers. Okay.
But it's different if you
Yes.
you
can
have the thesis just compilation articles. You don't need to follow that.
What is writing is that you have to follow that. But I don't know. For example, you need
Because
to
normally
this.
when we have a few students that so they produce an introduction and then an introduction to each paper and then the general conclusion.
Yeah, but the question is which session includes a paper? Abstract, introduction.
No,
blah, blah.
you write the title,
Yes.
an abstract, and then an introduction about the main
Yes.
topic, and then you append the paper,
Yeah, chapter.
and then
a conclusion.
and then a conclusion, and that's it.
Yes, but
I mean,
this is the minimum content, but I suppose that they are flexible on that, and all the papers include these things. So mainly you have it.
Yeah.
Normally, but I saw that format. Nobody complained, so you can do it. Of course, if the thesis is written in English, that can be for whatever reason you want. Then you have to include they say large abstract in Spanish. I would say that bigger abstract than the normal one. Could be 1 or 2 pages, so you can explain what you did more or less in detail. Okay.
But sorry, these are two different options to present the thesis. So in the first one, do you need an accepted publication?
Yes, I will speak about that.
Okay, so the rules.
Okay. Yeah. I will speak about every single paper you need to do the submission. Okay, of the deposit, as they say, because the thesis have to be in the library for a couple of weeks.
I have a question about the external reports. Who is expected to be the external person there? There might be people from the IDA or just collaborators from other institutes, or
it has to be from abroad from the university, but I think that it doesn't have to be collaborators. I think I have a slide on that.
Okay.
And you have to be careful on that. And also because, for example, because it might be part of the tribunal or not, I faced some problems now with a student of mine that researcher that is included in a paper that he presented to defend the thesis cannot be included in the tribunal. This was not the previous case, is it?
Yeah. I have a question because this happened before when you want to get the international
Yes.
the international doctor. But if you don't mind a normal doctoral thesis, you need also to do this external report now.
Yes, that's why it's all phases and underline, because this is the main change of the rules. So
No, because for international thesis work,
the difference now, what is different is that it can be national, and for the international need to be from abroad.
Yeah.
The reports, but now you need that.
So abroad is no connection with university, no connection to the IAA, or no co-author, or all of them.
Spanish. No collaborators.
I think that's not collaborator.
No collaborator.
It's not collaborator.
Collaborator meaning it cannot be
Cannot be from the university and not collaborator.
It cannot be in the paper.
Should be done. That should be done by the PhD candidate. It's not the university that should ask for that. I mean,
No.
now and ask other collaborators, but you please give me, why? You are not-
It's the same procedure. I'm not exactly how it works, but it's the same procedure as for the international mention.
For international mention, the thing we did is just to ask people that who are not our collaborators but are experts on the topic to submit a report about the thesis. And this is something related with the supervisor. The supervisor have to look for somebody else.
Yeah.
And now, apparently, for normal thesis work, should be done.
I mean, some people at university should handle that. I mean, but it's not point.
I don't know. I don't do the rule, but don't put more pressure on
Cada vez más burocracia.
Yes, a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, really, I mean, assuming that there is somebody that you it's like a paper, but some want to write a report on a thesis, I have to read the thesis. I mean, and that's the other way around.
Taking into account that it can be part of the tribunal after that. So it's something probably this is what happened. You send the thesis, made the report, but you invite him. It's got to be different.
We're not allowed to invite these people to the tribunal.
In the international mention, in the normal thing, yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
But then you cannot have authors as a tribunal, but you can have authors that can report for the international mission or for the defense.
No, I think that you cannot, the international mission cannot be collaborator.
In order to get international mission, you need at least 2 reports from people you have worked with.
No, we will read that point, okay? Like this international mention. Yes.
So, as there is already said, the parts of the criminal panel, they cannot be in my author list. That's one. Now I have a big problem. I have 300 authors. Okay, the collaboration. It's a very niche field. So the people outside that collaboration are very few. And the natural choice of selecting the panel was someone from the collaboration who can understand the work.
From my point of view, it happened the same. You go and just explain your situation and look, cannot be ruled out all the people working on this. Cannot be ruled out. So it's an international collaboration, things work like this. But in the case you have like 10 co-authors, then they're going to say that you cannot.
I see. Because in the past in our group, we had a situation until appointed, and both of, I think 2 of the people in the panel were already on the collaboration.
One has the same problem. He depended, and somehow he managed to climb.
Yeah, by the way.
I don't know what are the mechanisms, but
yeah, by the way, the rules have changed in October. So if he defended before, I don't know. Because I have a thesis defense on Jan, I think. And you know that the president of the tribunal was in every paper, every single paper that the student present as a 3 papers thesis. And now we try to put one person co-authoring one of the papers we present, not that thesis of papers, and they reject it to the tribunal because it was a co-authoring one of the publication. So things are changing. I know things that are not even writing there because they see any problem with that to have a member of the tribunal being co-author, but the university says no. So explain your situation because it's not as writing. And here are the official rules. Okay, I can say you what are not the official rules. So if it's not an official rule, then you can say, look, it's not official. I cannot do anything. Okay?
But such rules cannot be. I mean,
they are comprehensive.
At the end, I mean, they are giving their degree. They are responsible.
Yes.
And they should
through the procedure. I mean, why are they asking to the doctoral candidate? They are looking for people.
Well,
They should.
These are general rules, and then the doctoral committee, so depends on the topic, can put their own rules. So yeah, you have to talk to them, and that's.
They can be bent, and as long as like that, it's okay.
Yeah.
So just one question more. So you have to avoid authors from the papers that you include in your thesis, or in all your papers? Because if you are in a
No.
big collaboration, that's you.
No. Only those that include in the thesis. So you have to present at least one paper.
Okay.
To be allowed to submit your thesis.
Okay.
But you can have like 10 and you just put one or whatever because you are collaborator on another publication, but you don't use it in the thesis submission.
Is there a number of people from different institutions that we have to include in the tribunal?
Yes, we will go there. See, but we will go there. Okay. Okay. For the international mention, sincerely, I don't know what this means. This is easy for you to apply for. Okay, so you have to have minimum 3 months in international stays. In total, I mean, you can do 1 week or 2 week stays, several, how many you want. But one of them at least had to be 1 month large. Okay, at least one of them. And in total, you have to come for 3 months. They have to be authorized by academic commission that will see that is relevant or not to your thesis. Usually, you don't have a problem. And you have to come back with document with the activities you did there. So signed by for your supervisor there. Okay, it is quite simple, but it's don't forget about it. It has to be written, and the defense has to be in English, at least part of it. Except if you go to Spanish-speaking countries. Okay, you go to South America or Mexico, whatever, then you can do it in Spain, in Spanish. It is not the usual way here, but you can do it. Okay, it's not mandatory. It's not necessary. If you go abroad, my recommendation is that do write the thesis in English. And during the defense, minimum the summary and conclusion should be defense in English. You can do the entire defense because at the end you have to invite people from abroad to be part of the tribunal. So, and here's the important point. The external reports here, minimum 2 external reports have to be from abroad institutions, abroad from Spain. Okay, so cannot be any of the supervisors where you did the stays. And this is important.
Watch it.
Okay.
Yes, I know. You have to do a list of people because I suppose he mentioned about the number of
You
people.
to do the thesis.
Yes,
Wait. There are more things after that. So
we have to produce 12 people. There is 12 people that are not collaborating with us. So we have to have about 12 people in order to fill out all these requirements.
And it supposes that you have to send an original work to someone that is not your collaborator.
Well, this is not. Yeah, some of the people are around. Now we have collaborators and we have all these things, but yeah.
Yeah, so this is a very naive question since last 3 years of mine here, which is what is international mention? Is it really necessary and what are the advantages?
That's the question I always ask. From my point of view, I didn't need it for anything.
I can answer you.
But yeah,
It's important if you work in Spain
Yes, you want to start.
Because you have a mass.
Okay.
But of course, if you move from here to the United States, they don't ask you if you are international doctor or not. You are doctor, and they ask you to have a PhD.
In my case, I'm already international now. So.
That is.
Yeah, that's the point. In the case you want to return after your postdoc or whatever, this can be important. My opinion is that if you don't need it for anything, avoid these problems. Okay.
One question is non-Spanish member. It means that it has to work. He or she has to.
Yeah,
work
this is not.
In a non-Spanish institution.
Yeah.
Can be a.
No. This is actually in a non-Spanish institution. I missed the thing. Yeah, has to be for the. You have to invite for the tribunal and the researcher not working in Spain. Let's say, okay, at least one. Okay, but this is the important point, cannot be the supervisors or your states. Okay, and the difference has to be at the University of Granada. It has to be in parentheses because you can ask for the to the university to do the defense here, but has to be here under, let's say, the arms of the university. Okay. Well, this is a special case. I will be fast. You can do a joint supervision thesis, having two supervisors, one from here and another from abroad. This has even more complications than the international version. Even if it is shorter, the problem here is that the University of Granada has to have an agreement with the other university or the other institution to obtain a double degree, let's say, the doctor title by the University of Granada and the doctor title by the other university from abroad. So yes, it's not as easy as it's here, but here is the point. The degrees are obtained for each participating university. But to do that, they have to have an agreement between two universities. As far as I know, this is not easy to do so. If the agreement is already
to defend the thesis, I mean, you have one thesis, for instance, the University of Stockholm, you defend your thesis work in the University of Stockholm that they don't ask for anything.
If they have an agreement, yes, that is going. So, but yeah. And this is kind of naive. Yeah, you have an international mission. Okay. So the different point here is that this agreement can exist already from the university, so you can search for which agreement they have with other universities and do the state there, or the co-supervision there. Sorry. And you have to have a stay of 6 months minimum in each institution. So you have to be there to consider that. Okay. I'm going to skip this. I don't know if someone is interested in industrial mention. I keep this here and send to you the slides, and you can say that. So it's to collaborate with industry or a company or something like that. I know that here you do a lot of development or satellites and so on. So maybe someone is interested in doing that. Yes. Mention that this is possible, and maybe the more difficult part is that you have to be 1 year of contract in the enterprise you go, so they have to pay you. I suppose not all the people want. Okay. For supervisors, here is the thing, and well, it's good just to remind that what university thinks that supervisors should be, ensure coherence and suitability of the thesis, of course, novelty and impact. Suppose that all the supervisors try to do it. Correct planification of the times, and provide continuous guidance and advice. All these things should be done, but see, I put that. Remember that all these tips are for everybody in every subject. So it can be article with that probably they are not quite familiar with novelty and impact of toolbars. Okay, who control that? The doctoral commission at the end, I suppose. So the people that are in the field and are in the university, it's supposed to be experts in the field, the commission.
Well, I think part of those they have been followed by what's it called? The tutors. We have some such kind of responsibilities for each of the students. So we have in principle to be sure that
when you enroll in a PhD program, you get a tutor that can be your supervisor, depending on the cases. I can put that because I didn't start from the beginning, but you will have a tutor. Every of you doing the PhD should have a tutor. If you don't know, go to your oficina virtual and check for it. You will have the information there.
all of that has to be channeled at least over one programa de doctorado.
Yes. Yeah, once you go to the programa de doctorado, you are assigned a tutor, and then you can ask that the tutor is your PhD advisor if it is in the programa de doctoral program. But had to be included in the
That's what I'm trying to answer the main question.
Okay.
No, my question was pointed to who checked that the supervisor role is the correct one for the relation with the student. If the student agree with the correct planification, for example, or the coherence of the
tutors.
No, if the student agree with the planification of the thesis, if the student thinks this is crazy.
No, the tutor have to take care.
This is just okay.
But the tutor can be the supervisor.
Yes, I have been a tutor of some student that I was not supervising, and I have recurrent meetings with them and take care that everything runs okay.
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 They can contact with the tutor.
So this is for the supervisor, not for you.
No, this is for supervisors. Yeah. Okay, tutor has to be enrolled in the doctoral program.
At university, if you have already started a PhD thesis with someone as a director that doesn't have experience as extended, they presumably are not enrolled before you defend your thesis. Do you have to change the supervisor?
Equivalent. This is the missing word. So yeah, you don't have to be supervisor. Doesn't mean that needs a research period. That's called the semi. The semi is just like now the how they call this the R3. You know that your TV is analyzed by the expert, and okay, they give you the mark, and then this allows you to participate in programs, and your CV is not evaluated anymore. So it's like that. Sexennial, yeah, you are perfectly fine to supervise a student. But if you don't have that, then you have to prove that you have at least 5 papers, not main author even, so 5 papers related to the topic. So, okay. You can have up to 3 co-supervisor, but in my experience is quite even more complicated from time to time to get even 2. So it has to be well justified, why 2, and imagine to justify 3, why 3, right? So the rules is that you can have up to 3 co-supervisors, but here also lecturer of the doctoral program or collaborators. So almost all the people here in the IAA are collaborators. It's just something that you ask, they ask you for a CV or something like that, and they prove that you are can enroll in as collaborator in the doctoral program. And then, so if any of your future supervisor is not already enrolled in the doctoral program, just ask contact university, do it. Okay.
They can be involved if they are from foreign institutes.
Yeah, I think so. Probably not that. Well, this teaching dedication, that they have teaching dedication is not just to say that we're going to validate that you are sufficiently good to supervise the students. Okay. Okay. Good. A good point. Hopefully you reached that point. You are happy. This is generated with IA. Very much attention to what it's doing. So here, I put here what you need to submit to the Oficina Virtual to get the thesis approval. So the favorable report of the supervisor and the tutor usually is the same. Can be do in the same way. It's a small report. It's not going to be like 1 page, so half page is enough. It's just to say that you did the research and so on. They are happy or not with that. That's all. This is important. You have to do several training activities. That means on courses, seminars, conferences. I suppose that, for example, seminars here in the IAA are valid for this, but you need all the certificates and to show that you follow a continuous training program. Okay, so it's in the doctoral program, usually they say what they have and that's going there. A couple of things. Usually going to conference is important to prove that you went there. Maybe this is the most slowing part, the authorization from the academic committee. The academic committee used to be in the department, and they meet from time to time, and you don't control that. So you are in a hurry, you have to tell them that you're in a hurry and try to do fast, but usually they meet like every 2 weeks or so.
I've been told we meet like once a month.
Well, there are, yeah. So, yeah.
Just so people can control the.
No. I will put the timeline and you will see that you to think about the submission 1 year ahead.
1 year ahead.
I would say. To thinking about that, okay? But
Is there a calendar where you can see when they meet?
No.
So you know when to submit?
No. Sorry, but
I thought there was no calendar where you see.
no, and even I forgot to put something there, but I will remark it because it's important. Okay. Then you have, in the old times, you propose your own panel and so on. I suppose that is going to be maintained like that. But in this case, you have to propose like 6 to 8 experts for the tribunal, and you have to ask for everyone to have a qualification certificate. Basically, what you ask for it is that they put that they collaborate in, I don't know how many papers, I think that's 4 or 5 papers, they put the papers, and they have like a small summary of the CV, and that's all. Usually there is no problem. And what I mean with usually there is no problem is that you can be studying stars or like in my case, and I have in the tribunal people from galaxies. Related topic, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody knows that this is complicated and above all because of the description of the tribunal that we will see. And
is the certificate like an official document?
Yes, there is a paper there, and you have to just fill it.
Okay, so there is already
Yes.
something to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think that you have all the papers in the Oficina Virtual. Okay. Yeah, but you have to submit all of that for all the experts you have. And this 6 to 8, I will speak about this later. Okay. And at least you have to submit one impact publication, so including the ESC journal citation reports. Okay. Doesn't mean they have to be in the first quartile or in the second quartile. Nothing about that. we know all in here in astrophysics that usually publish in first quartile, so you don't have to
I have a suggestion for the university, but
They have many.
they don't feel this. That all the committees in Spain, according to the quality law, have to be filled 50% women, 50% men. They are approving juries without this. So that this is something
I'm speaking.
suggest to translate to the university.
No.
That
Yeah.
they cannot approve any jury without this.
Look, I'm putting here the requirements for the submission, and I put in here what they have to do. Now we will go to the tribunal for the condition, and one of these is equal gender balance. But you have to do it in advance to the university, and they require you to have to be women. I don't know if they revise it a lot.
No. I can give them a long list of juries defended here in the institute that
That's
they
not
don't feel
Finland.
it's a problem.
Well, in the quest, well, yes, we will go for that. For that, I don't know if it is now or that. Yes, now the tribunal composition. So I don't know why, but the university allows you to compose a tribunal of 3 or 5 people, and this depends on you and your supervisor. So if you have a panel of 5 members, then the defense will be longer. That's all. You have more paperwork to do, and the secretaries too. And that's all. So you can choose. And this is the thing. If you go for the 3 members panels, then you will need to put 6 names in the list. If you go for the 5, you have to put 8 names in the list. Okay? Gender balance, looking for gender balance, but yes, you don't have it is 3 or 5. I don't know how big.
Then why would someone go for 5?
Sorry?
Why would someone go for 5 instead of 3?
It's not your choice, it's your supervisor's choice.
Yes, maybe it's your supervisor's choice. Okay, so this is the thing. Yeah, it's okay. And supposed to be designated by the admission committee of the doctoral school, but I think that they admit your suggestions. Okay, at least until last month. You have to have 1 president, 1 secretary, and 1 to 3 vocals, depending on the type of panels. And the majority has to be on outside of the university. And yeah, I forgot to say that secretary has to be from the university, and that is where we come inside. Okay,
Not the president.
not the president, the secretary. Okay,
What are the roles? What do the roles mean?
we will go for there, but basically, president, this is the manager, let's say, of the defense, and secretary do the paperwork. The others go to the roasting. Yes, and then go for the land. Had to be non-co-authors of the presented paper. This is the thing that I have to remind. Of course, supervisors and tutors are excluded. This is something I say it explicitly because in other countries it's not that case. Even in Portugal, it's not. So, but here, yes, and yeah, this is the main point you.
At least 1 member has to be from the university.
Yes, the secretary.
Oh, send it. Oh.
The secretary is from the university. You can choose more, but the secretary is from the university. Okay.
One point, Antonio, about the member outside of the university. Sometimes IAA is considered a part of the university, and sometimes not. So my point is, could that be, what would be IAA members considered non-university?
Yes, usually they are considered non-university.
Even we belong to the program, no PhD program, or
I can answer because that's happened recently with the thesis of Alice de Conto. That because I was I participated the PhD program. I'm considered a professor of PhD program. I am not allowed. That's why I asked to belong to the
new group. So that's why I asked.
What is said is the majority has to be outside of the university. I don't remember now if they say explicitly that you have to be lecturer, or I support that collaborator not, but if you teach there, then you can face problems with that. And now, as I told you, in the last month I have problems with a student. We couldn't call Javier because was a co-author of it, and this was not a rule before.
Well,
Just happened month before.
Alice de Conto defends her thesis 2 weeks ago. I was not allowed to be.
So if they are considered the university, can they be the secretary? In the very old times, you was allowed that people from here that belong to the doctorate program were allowed to be the secretary. But at some point, they stopped it.
Yes.
So now they changed the rule again, or it's like recently. They are not allowed.
They are not allowed. They have to be professors from the university, and permanent professor.
To be regular professor from
Yes.
the university.
They are
secretary.
If you have like in my case, is I was working there and I have like a compromise of the stabilization that I had. But previously to that, even if I was contracted there cannot be. Okay, the secretary.
So you have to be an expert on the topic. You have to be permanent staff of the university.
No, but that's the point here, secretary. I was in a thesis of minor bodies. I was in a thesis also for, I don't know, X-radio burst. You don't have many people, so you say, no, yeah, they are related to stars or whatever, right?
About space. Because the idea of the secretary is to know all the bureaucracy ways on the universe.
Yes.
That's the main.
And I will say what is the point of the secretary because it's not written there, and I will tell you what is the work, the paperwork has to be done. We will reach that point. I hope so. Okay, all these papers you look for thesis rule and so on. Unfortunately, they are still on Spanish, so I translated for you here, so you have the tips. But the entire law is in the webpage of the university. Okay. Yes, why we call it deposits, not only submission, because the thesis is going to be in the library for public revision. So any doctor can go there and revise your thesis and say, look, this is not original work and this cannot be go from there. The reality is that who is going to know that your thesis is there? Okay, but in any case, you have to wait once you go to the virtual office and you go to the depository of the thesis doctoral and you submit your thesis after all the process we speak about. And you have to wait 15 days until nobody says that your thesis cannot be defended. Okay, so you have a minimum time to wait there. Then you have between these 15 days and 3 months to defend your thesis. Afterwards, you have to submit again the thesis. So it's okay. I suppose that everybody wants to finish soon, so once you reach the point. Yes, it has to happen that sometimes people are very fast and want to submit the thesis before ahead, but you have to spend at least 2 years in the doctoral program. I suppose that this is to cover the fees because the university is going to pay the travels of the tribunal, so it's fair, I would say. And yeah, permission from the director committee of the doctoral program. This is quite fast. I would say you submit it, and the next day you have it alone. And until this point, the official panel, the defense is not named, and the secretary doesn't get the informal advice that he is the secretary. Of course, you have to speak with the doctorand before, but before this, let's say that it's not possible for the secretary to do things, to start managing things. Okay, so if you plan to submit and defense in 15 days, you give 15 days to the secretary to do all the paperwork and try to plan the travels with the tribunal members and so on. So this is an important point here. And please not consider non-school days. Means August is problematic, very problematic. Okay? I faced that experience. The end of July is problematic because you go there, you submit your thesis, you have 15 days, then you have like 1 week, and you want to defense the first week of September. Quite problematic because you have to organize the tribunal members' travels, and you have some problems, and it happens in August. You cannot ask anyone in the university, and this is the main. I think it was.
Is winter or this?
Winter is just the end of the year vacations. So it's 2 weeks. You do not have to go to the official holidays, but to the non-school holidays. So what is not the school days is from not mid-December, but end of December until 7th of January, something like that. Okay? It's not pretty tight, but if you want, for example, if you want to make the deposit at the end of December and defend at the beginning of January, it's not possible because you then wait like 15 days for the deposit, okay, to be revised. Okay, yes.
In the past, you mentioned we should think about your thesis submission 1 year in advance. I think it's probably true, but not that practically. But if someone has to submit their thesis, it's usually around July because August is impossible, or then it happens in September. So for people who want to do it in July, what's the more realistic time scale?
Look, you can submit your thesis through the virtual office that is always open because it's virtual. It's going to in the web page, but nobody will answer until September to you.
Right.
So why?
Yeah. But my question is, if someone wants to defend July, what is your advisable time scale to start submitting your thesis to defend?
We will go there in the timeline. Okay.
You say what I understand is that the minimum duration for PhD is 2 years. Is there a maximum duration?
In principle, yes. Yeah, good question. I would say it's like 6 years for full-time people with a lot of time dedication, because some people are part-time dedication to the PhD. And yeah, you have typically 4 years, and then you have to ask for extra year, and this is usually what you get. But to get the last year, the sixth year, it might be more complicated if you don't justify it. Okay, I think that for part-time dedications, it's like, I don't know, it's not much, like 20% more, like 1 or 2 years. Timeline. So this is my timeline, and there is something big problem you should hear. This interval. I don't know how long this takes because it didn't explicitly written. I didn't face it yet. So this is probably the most important point here. So you consider that you finish your thesis. Good. Then you have to obtain 2 reports from people abroad, so external reports. Okay. That the tribunal qualification certificate, yes. So to have the tribunal, you have to get them so that they can be part of the tribunal, and that's all. That this is not so complicated. People usually in 1 week you can have all of them. Okay, but the problem is that when you send the manuscript to the people that has to do to say something, the external report, then they give back to you, and you need to do something. I don't know how much time they take to read your thesis, to give you the amendments, and so on. Suppose that you do the amendments in 1 day, right? You want to do it fast, so it's 1 day. You do everything. Sometimes cannot happen. Then you need the authorization of the academic committee. You have to send your thesis to the department, and they have to be approval. I say 15 days. The speeding is like 1 month. So 1 month, let's say another month, 2 months in advance, and then you do the submission, and you get past the permission, and you go for the defense. So 15 days, let's say realistically 1 month. So like 3 months in advance at least, if everything goes smoothly. Yes.
The external reports. Do the people that write them have to upload them to the university platform, or do they just send them to you so you can?
No idea.
No, you need to attach them. Yeah. They don't need to interact.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is for the international mention, but you know, anyone who defends, I don't know, who submit the thesis after 13th of September, because it was the timing with everything changed. So it's not just 1 month. So I don't know how this is going to solve that. I suppose that this is not a good report, but because it's not a problem that you have a bad report, because you have time just to do the application, but at least you have to submit it to your oficina virtual, then do the modifications, and that's all. Okay. I will say that everything is in the oficina virtual.
Until the submission of the tribunal qualification certificates, everything that happens before is just after you and your collaborators. You don't have to.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I will say that this external report has to be sent to the university in some way, because it has to be approved by the committees and so on, or checked by the committees. Okay, so the
amendments.
Yes.
And then
I suppose that you send to the committee, and they check that you did the amendments the expert gave to you, and that's all.
They need to wait until the reports are certified before you do the manuscript amendments, or can you just do it at the same? Like while you're waiting that they certificated and they approve everything, you can just keep doing.
Well, you have the official way, and the second way is that you know the other people, and they give you the amendments and do it, and that's all. So, for example, they say, look, correct this, I don't like, and that's all. I will give you a positive report and fix everything. We'll say that. An important point is because it can be part of the tribunal, so that's why I put it here, because you can say, look, come here to be part of the tribunal. So
what is the 15 days deposit at the library? Where is it?
One is
in addition to all
is here, the end. So you have to go through the external report, amendments, authorization by the academic committee. The submission is just uploaded. The permission is 1 day. So it kind of this from the submission, final submission, is just 15 days. I would say, since the permission of defense is okay, the thesis is approved, and you have 15 days to wait. And then
after all the permission can be complete.
Yes. Yeah, because in the submission you need all of these things. Okay? So
one small question of clear for me with the meaning of external. External. Then you said before you were going to talk a little bit more about that.
I didn't say much. Yeah, it's true that I didn't speak much about it because yes.
If you're going to talk later on that.
No. I think this is all I have from the external. Is this might be part of the tribunal external reports? The external means outside the university. If you are not, example, I suppose that can be
external of the university.
Yes. In this simple case, yes. If you have one international mention, then have to be external from any Spanish institution. So probably you are someone who can be part of the tribunal here in the IAA, you can send it.
So in addition to all the paperwork, you also need
the report are mandatory. Yes.
People out.
Yeah, this is the main chain, and this is why I put this. So you have in mind that you have to send them. But look, it's going to be recorded. But in any case, if you have some people that you know that can be external reporter, then send them the thesis in advance. So look, you want to modify something, have some suggestion, let's make the amendments in advance, even before the thesis is done, and then write me the report, the favorable report. So, can be, no?
So they can be members too.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. In the case of international mention, they can.
International mention what?
They cannot.
Okay.
No. So.
Okay,
This is the difference. Okay, so have that in advance. At least all these take minimum 1 month, 2 months. Yep, no, and if after this kind of things. Okay. But this kind of thing, I would say that can be saved if you think, okay, this year I have a big part of the thesis written, and I can interact with the people who is going to do the reports and make things into it. That's what I would think if I was a PhD student. Okay.
In total, about 4 months. We submit in March. You finish the things in March and you depend in July. That's the time. For people who are
Yes, more or less. Okay. But if you are almost finished, then you can start with interacting with the external people. Okay. Well, the defense asks how it works, and so some small tips on how it's going to be. So it has to be at the University of Granada. It can be in another place, but you have to ask for permission. Usually people do it here, and there is no problem until now. Let's see, things change, but until now you don't have problems. Had to be oral presentation. This is not, you don't have any rule, but I would say that more or less 50 minutes, and be 45, 1 hour, or whatever. And had to include the same word, methodology, conclusion, where you will speak about all these things if you have a thesis about them. Then the questions from the tribunal typically last like 1 hour in the case of 3 panel members. So if you want to go for 5, imagine. Okay. One thing that usually is not what people do, or maybe you are surprised, that doctor in the audience can ask questions. So the president, who is in charge or doing all the presentation and stuff, should ask to the people in the audience if they want to ask something. I think I never saw a question of the audience, but maybe you
also could check that the person who answered the question is a doctor.
But you have to ask for no detection. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you know it, whatever, or is a professor in the university.
And it is taken into account for the final qualification.
Oh, well, the panel can take it into account, the answer. Okay. So it's a discussion, and the panel
to ask a nice question.
Yes. Okay. So at the end of the defense, the tribunal provides a report, of course, to the university. They can do it afterwards. They can do it in person. One thing that is not writing here, important to you, if people is from Spain and they have a digital certificate, then there is no problem. Everything can be seen by digital certificate. But what happens if you have just one member without the digital certificate? Everyone has to sign by hand.
It seems if there are people from outside Spain, the panel, they will not have digital certificate in most cases, and everyone has to sign by hand.
Yes. So they have to see it, the report in person when they are here. Okay? That's the important thing. Okay. The maximum qualification they can give to you is sobresaliente.
The minimum?
Huh?
And the minimum they can reject?
They can reject. Yes, they can reject. They can suspend you. I never saw that, but in principle they can.
No, because in the past when the university gives you the permission to defend your thesis, already you have the
maybe
pass. Have the qualification aprobado. But the only thing that you defend,
I can check that in the papers because they say in the papers of the secretary.
Because in the past it was not possible.
However, in that case, there was a preview report by the members of the tribunal committee. So if they themselves have signed that they agree, at least you have to
have
the minimum qualification.
Maybe it changed because of that. I've not been secretary of any tribunal yet with the new rules. So we'll see. Because in the report they say you have to give these marks. Means you are allowed to give these marks. So maybe they are saying that, but they've not been there and it's not there. They only say the maximum is sobresaliente, and if this is the case, then you will have a secret vote for cum laude. That is a special mention. But the secret vote will be a couple of days after that, because the secretary has to send the documentation of the report and say, look, this is sobresaliente. And then the usual way now is that they send a link to all the members of the tribunal and they vote remotely. Okay, so it takes some days to complete. Not much, but takes some days to complete. And finally, the thesis is archived in an institutional repository, and the thesis which is archived is not. You don't have option to make amendments. Because the thesis is what you submitted in the Oficina Virtual. So this step. Okay, so be sure that everything is fine and so on. There are always mistakes in the thesis. Don't worry about that. But you have to be sure that it's the best you have. Until here, what is writing? Okay, yeah. Do you have a work extraordinary work criteria? You can present your thesis to get that. It's given every 2 years and is around 1 per 10 theses and 1 per field. Usually the fields are food science, field, social level, humanities, engineering. So this is the 5 fields. Yeah.
Do you have any idea of how many PhDs get the sobresaliente? How many get
Most of them get cum laude, but not all of them. I saw sometimes that they don't get them because it's secret. Because it's secret, you know.
Maybe you talk about this. The members of the tribunal can attend the defense virtually.
I didn't mention that, but imagine that you cannot sign from abroad, so you face some problem with that. But you can do a mix, an online thesis defense that was doing during the pandemic, but and also mix way to do the things. But I don't know if it's going to give you some problems if you have people from abroad to to sign the paper.
So I stop that from abroad, but in Spain.
Yeah.
But so they have a certificate. But imagine that in the last moment they lose the flight, something like that.
No, then you have to reserve people.
Reserve people cannot make it the last month. You have problem.
You have problem. Yes. Maybe you have to postpone the thesis.
Yeah. So there have been situations where I've seen people join on Zoom in this institute in the past. If that not allowed anymore, because I can totally imagine that there will be some people who want to evaluate this but cannot.
There was a case like multiple.
No. You can go. You can do that, but you need a certificate to sign the. That is the point. So if they are Spanish members, they can do it. In my experience, is that saying to the university, if you want to go a mix, if you want to go to do a mix version defense, like virtually and in person, and then you have to follow several steps in the university. You have to reserve a place in the university that they prepare, whatever. I ended up to do, look, you agree with doing that, the tribunal agreed with doing that, and the supervisor and so on. Okay, let's do a Zoom meeting. You put your certificates and nobody knows that you cannot be here. Okay, this is the short answer, but you have to be sure that you can say that. You can go through the normal, let's say the normal rules of the university, but official rules, but maybe you face problems with the signature.
Being president and the secretary in the tribunal, they can put the final decision at the moment and the responsibility.
Yes, but I don't know what's happened with the signature. Okay. That's the problem, the ultimate problem. I suppose that you can go and you have to send the institution the report and everybody has to see it, or
no.
You know what I mean? That's it. Okay. Wait. There is the final remark. Yes.
No, I'd like just to ask you if do the things can happen, for the tutor, the supervisors in the house.
I did. This is non-mandatory. That's not agreed. Yeah.
Who is indispensable?
The tribunal and the student.
In this case, the president.
What?
The president is the president and
all the members of the panels has to be there. Okay. The secretary, because he's part of the university, has to be in person. That's true. And the rest of the members cannot be in this online version, let's say, of the defense. But in any case, the university gives you some money for the people to come from abroad, so they can be in person, and justify that they cannot be is the thing you have to do. You have to do online. Okay. Yes.
Question about the secretary.
Yes, I'm going to speak about the secretary.
But when you have to put the list of the possible members of the tribunal, maybe you have to put 2 members from the university.
Yes, you need to.
You need to put 2 members of the university in the list.
Yes, because you
just in case.
Yeah, just in case one fails, the secretary fails, you need to put 2 members of the university. Yes, that's true. Yeah. So once you submit and you have the permission, then all the papers arrive to the secretary, and the secretary starts to work. What has to do the secretary? Of course, the secretary knows that he's the secretary in advance, but they have to know several things, numbers that the university puts to the thesis. So that's why he has to wait until the end to do everything. And then he contacts the other members of the tribunal that are coming, and they start to organize the travels. If you have someone from Spain, it's easier to travel in 2 weeks. But if you come with someone from abroad, then you can face problems. There is something here that I didn't put here, but it's important. So, for a Spanish member of the tribunal, you have 600 euros for expenses. So you don't have any limitation until 600 for the flight tickets or whatever you need to come here. But there is a limitation in the price of the hotel you want to reserve, that is 80 euros. So for everyone, 80 euros per night is the thing. Okay, I know places cheaper that belong to the university, but in case they are full, I face some problems to find hotels for 80 euros. So it's not much. This is the limitation we have for all the travels, even ourselves in Spain. So yeah, try to find something for 80 euros. But yeah, so sometimes you need to take that into account. Above all, your supervisors can supplement or give some money to the tribunal to complete this price. Okay?
We are now paid 68. For doing all the commissions.
Yeah. This is true. It's complicated. I don't know why, but I wanted to let you know. And if you go for international mention, then the member of the tribunal from abroad has 1,200 euros. So it's like the double to come here for the flight tickets, mainly, and so on. So that's taken into account. Only the day before, only can be paid the night before the defense and the night after the defense. So fast travel, like 2 nights, I think is the most. So think about that too. Okay?
But can they postpone the travel? They say, okay, I'm paying my stay.
Yes. Yeah, the travel can be postponed at the same time condition, but usually it's the secretary that certificates that needs to be here and so on, blah, blah, can be done. If you know what I mean.
Limit was for Spanish people for all expenses?
For all expenses.
For Spanish people.
For Spanish people. So you have to count for 160 euros for the nights, and the rest is set up.
What about the non-Spanish? Is there a limit?
600.
Not for foreigners.
For foreigners, double.
Only if you have international mention. And only for one. If you bring 2, then it's 600.
Wait. Say again. So if I got the international mention, I have.
You need one Spanish member.
Yeah.
They pay this, and they pay for that. Only one.
Okay, so I can only bring one international person.
Yeah, fine. You can bring some. Yeah.
Yes,
And the limit to that is 2,000.
No.
200.
Yes.
Can you use your own grant or your group's grant to fund this travel?
Yes. With your money, you can do whatever you want. University is only going to give you that, okay? But yeah, this is important just to let you know that sometimes it's complicated. I suppose that within Europe, maybe you can do it for that price if you go well ahead. But it is important to go not the last 15 days, then you face problems. But if you go well in advance, like 1-2 months even, you contact them quite earlier and you put the day you want to defend. So probably you have time to organize everything, but you have to know that until the documents don't reach the secretary, he cannot move. Okay? And he has to talk to an agency and travel agency and so on. Okay? So yeah, and they have to gather. He or she has to get all the documents so the tribunal can be paid, and that includes bank accounts. They have to put them in the system. Then they have to fill a lot of documents, etc. My recommendation if you have a secretary that does not forget to do it, is finish the thesis, do the report, check that every document is correct, sign it, and that's all. At the end, the people from other universities, from outside of Granada, then they have an envelope with the address here in the university, and they send the other tickets they spend so they can be removed. Okay, but this is not job, it is secretary responsibility. The secretary also has to be aware of when the cum laude votation has, because the people in the tribunal has only 24 hours to do it. It's quite simple. It's just click a link, you just know, and then it asks again, are you sure you want to vote this? Yes, that's all. But you have to be sure that maybe I don't know, different time zones and so on. You have to ask the people engaged. I received the email. Okay, did you vote? Okay, everything is fine. Once the vote is finished, then they go to see the results in person with the people from the administration, and then everything is done. Oops. Okay. Yes. So message to take care of them, of times, pay attention to the requisites. That's what I would say that this you will see a bit confusing, and think about the secretary duties, so you don't put in a hurry in the case you want to. You do have a limit, a deadline, because you have a postdoc or whatever. Okay.
One thing, how often can we change these kind of proceedings?
I would say that the last rules were from 2015, probably, something like that. And it came from some rules 2011 or something like that.
I may not to finish your test.
Yes. Don't worry much. And I will say that maybe they fix some points here that are not really clear because there are new rules, and I will say that the reports from the expert things will change a bit. Or it will work. Okay. The questions? Okay. Any other question? Comment?